Hey everybody on YouTube and beyond, welcome back to my Metal Man Cave. I'm Glenn, I'm here at the bar, and I'm going to give you my top 10 metal albums of 2024. This won't be in-depth reviews of each one of the records, just sort of a quick and dirty, high level, what I liked about them in the ranking. I'm also going to talk about a few honorable mentions, and I'll talk about a few albums that I still have yet to purchase. I know they're going to be good, but I just haven't gotten around to getting off my ass and actually picking them up yet. So there's still a whole bunch of kick-ass records from 2024 that I haven't gotten around to ordering yet. The latest from Traveler, Flotsam and Jetsam, Ijan, Orange Goblin, High on Fire, Panzerfaust. There's just a bunch that I just haven't gotten around to ordering yet. But these are the ones that I did order, and these are the ones that I liked the most. Okay, let's start with our honorable mentions for Metal Album of the Year for 2024. These aren't ranked or anything like that. These are just a bunch of albums that I thought were pretty awesome in 2024 that I just wanted to share with everybody. And I'm going to start off with Necrot and Lifeless Birth. This came out in April on Tank Crimes. These guys are just awesome, solid death metal. Everything they've put out so far has been great. This album's no exception. Riffs for days, excellent lead work, really good production, killer artwork as always too. So yeah, Necrot, Lifeless Birth. Another one of the honorable mentions for Metal Album of the Year 2024 is, for me, Dark Throne, It Beckons Us All. This came out in April on Peaceville. I really like what Dark Throne's doing with this sort of incorporating traditional heavy metal stuff in and doom stuff in with their already established sound. I mean, they're a band with many different facets to them, right? There's the black metal side, the crust side, and now what they're doing right here, which is sort of almost getting into almost a 70s metal feel, but not quite, if you know what I mean. A great record, all around awesome. I love what they're doing right now, so yeah, Dark Throne. All right, another record that didn't make it into my top 10, but which I thought was pretty awesome still, is Midnight's Hellish Expectations. This is out on Metal Blade. It's newer Midnight, so it's a little more polished than the older stuff, but it's still a really, really solid record. Expect Total Hell is a great song. Gash Scrape, it's Midnight, right? You can't go wrong. So yeah, Midnight, Hellish Expectations. So another record that didn't make it into my top 10, but a band I really, really like, is Butcher. This is On Foul of Tyrant Wing. I love what these guys do. I mean, it's wicked speed metal, old school sounding. There's a little more death metal vocals going on this album rather than the usual shrieking style that you would expect from them. Sounds great though. I got the 45 for Speed Metal Samurai as well. I saw them a couple years ago at Metal Magic and they fucking deliver live. They're so good. So if you get a chance, check out Butcher. Another band I really, really like, but their album didn't quite make it into my top 10, is Ensiferum with Winter Storm. I really like what these guys do. I've been a fan of them since their first demos. I really like their new keyboard player. He does all the clean vocals and the high stuff, and he's got an amazing voice. The songs are really dense on here. There's a lot going on. There's a really, really good sort of ballady thing called Scars in My Heart with some female vocals by Madeleine Lillistam. I probably mispronounced that, so I'm sorry. Fantastic song. Really, really good. It's Ensiferum. It's awesome folk metal. I'm a big fanboy, so of course I loved it. Didn't quite make it in my top 10, but I still recommend it. So there's another record that I knew I was going to enjoy as soon as I heard the announcement that they were putting it out. Powerwolf, Wake Up the Wicked. I love these guys. I've seen them at festivals a few times. It's just good times. I knew what to expect when I got the record. I put it on. It's like, yep, I was back in a German cow pasture with 85,000 other people drinking beer and singing along. It's great. The only complaint I have about Powerwolf is, why is there no bass live? What the fuck, guys? But yeah, solid record. Excellent stuff. Okay, and rounding out my honorable mentions for Metal Album of the Year 2024, Capilla Ardiente from Chile. This is Where Gods Live and Men Die. I love these guys. This is an awesome doom metal record with riffs for days and awesome lead work, great vocals. Their songwriting is really matured now. The songs are long, there's only 4 on the whole record, but they don't drag on. Everything makes sense, everything fits well together. Totally solid record. You definitely got to check these guys out. All right, here we go. These are my top 10 metal albums of 2024 as chosen by me, so mileage may vary, but we're going to start with my number 10, Bruce Dickinson, and the Mandrake Project, which came out in March on BMG. This one took me a few listens to get into, but it is a really solid record. I had pre-ordered the 7-inch before the album came out with Afterglow of Ragnarok and the demo of If Eternity Should Fail, which is on Iron Maiden's Book of Souls as well. And I think I like the version on the Mandrake Project better than I like the Maiden version and the demo version. It's a kick-ass tune. They're different sort of interpretations, if you will, of the song. But yeah, I like the version on the Mandrake Project way better. It's a solid album, but it just didn't quite make it as high into the top 10 as I kind of would have wanted it to. The last few Bruce Dickinson solo albums have just been absolute bangers. This one, not quite up to snuff, but it's still really, really solid. So this is my number 10. My number 9 metal album of the year for 2024 is Saxon, Hellfire and Damnation. This came out in January on Silver Lining Music, and I'm still spinning it to this day, so it's got staying power. It's a really solid album. The last bunch of Saxon albums have been really, really great. You know what you're going to get with a Saxon record, I think, nowadays. They're not reinventing the wheel, they're just putting out kick-ass records. My favorite track on here is There's Something in Roswell. I love it when Biff sings about UFOs, it's great stuff. Yeah, Brian Tatler from Diamond Head is on guitar in the band now. Totally wicked record, Saxon, Hellfire and Damnation. My number 8 metal album of the year, 2024, is Opeth, The Last Will and Testament. Everybody's talking about, oh, the growling is back, the growling is back. Whatever, it's just a really good record. And I'm sure Ackerfeld is going to be sick and tired of hearing people in interviews asking about the growling. So the next Opeth record probably won't have any because of all the stupid questions about it. But yeah, no, this record is like a little bit of a combination of some of the last few records with the weird experimental stuff going on, but back to some of the heavier elements of Opeth, of course, the growling, as we said. It's a really interesting album. It's a fun listen. There's a lot of really neat musical ideas going on, a lot of cool twists and turns. It's total ear candy, great production. Can't recommend it enough. Opeth is my number 8. So number 7 in my top 10 metal albums of 2024 is from Portrait. It's The Host. This is out on Metal Blade. I love these guys. I've been a fan of theirs since their first record. This is their first concept album, and it's a long record, but it doesn't feel like a long record. It feels like a really cool journey. There's a lot of riffs going on. Their songs are very complex, so if you like Merciful Fate, I think you'll like this because there's a lot of different tempo changes, time changes, and different facets to each song, but it's not riff salad. It all makes sense, right? The songs all have purpose. They go somewhere, and the whole record tells a really cool story. I highly recommend checking out Portrait if you don't know them already. They're playing at Metal Magic this year at Fredericia, Denmark. I hope I can make it out there, so fingers crossed that Glen can go see Portrait live in Denmark. My 666th album of the year for 2024 is from Unto Others. It's Never Neverland. This came out in September on Century Media. I just saw these guys about a month ago and they put on a killer show. I love what they do by mixing sort of those goth elements in with heavy metal, and it doesn't sound jarring. It works. They actually make it work. And some people did kind of crap on this record, saying that some of the songs were goofy or whatever, like Mama Likes the Door Closed and When the Kids Get Caught and stuff like that. But if you know Unto Others, and back when they were Idle Hands, you know that they have an odd sense of humor and they sometimes write about subjects in a very strange manner, but that's part of the charm. These guys are great, and this is an awesome album. Okay, so my number 5 metal album of the year for 2024 is from one of my favorite bands, new wave of British heavy metal stalwarts, Satan. This is Songs in Crimson. Came out in September on Metal Blade Records. A lot of people are sort of shitting on this record, saying, oh, the production's not very good, the drums sound really boxy, and the guitars sound really thin. And I'm like, no, you just need a better stereo. It sounds just fine. It sounds like a Satan record. So it's got really good songwriting, awesome riffs, really good lyrics. Can't go wrong. Everything these guys put out is gold, in my opinion. Maybe I'm a fanboy and I'm a little biased. I don't care. But my number 5 is Satan, Songs in Crimson. So, my number 4 metal album of the year for 2024 came out with a lot of hype surrounding it. A lot of people ranting and raving about how good it was and how awesome it was. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure it's fine. But some folks I know that have really good taste in music, which is kind of some of the similar tastes that I have, so obviously it's really good. They had also ranted and raved about the record. So I drank the Kool-Aid. I ordered it without hearing a note, and yeah, the hype is real. Blood Incantations Absolute Elsewhere came out in October on Century Media, and it's great. It's like, I think somebody had said, or maybe I'm quoting it for the first time, it's like if Gorguts and Tangerine Dream had a baby. It's amazing. There's death metal, there's prog, there's these weird ambient bits, and it all makes sense. It all blends together well. It's very memorable. There's only 2 songs, so side 1 is the Stargate, side 2 is the Message, and it's a great listen. This is a fantastic record, and like I said, the hype is real. There seems to be a running theme going on here, which is that a lot of my favorite bands are on this list. Well, that's a good thing, because that means in 2024 a lot of my favorite bands released albums, and one of my favorite bands is Deceased, and they're my number 3 with their album Children of the Morgue. This came out on Hell's Headbangers Records, and as soon as I saw the announcement from them that it was coming out, I pre-ordered it and I've been spinning it ever since. I think their songwriting has matured a lot on this album. It's maybe not as manic as some of their previous albums, and the production may be a little bit on the muddier side, but the songwriting is awesome, top notch. There's this one part in Children of the Morgue that reminds me of Voivod that I totally love. It's just a great record, and I knew they weren't going to disappoint, and once again, they've done awesome. So yeah, Deceased is my number 3 for 2024. Well, here we are, we're in the home stretch. This is my number 2 metal album for 2024, and it's from Doth. This is The Deceivers. This came out in May on Metal Blade Records. I've been into these guys since their first demo was like released on the Ultimate Metal forum back in the early 2000s. I think James Murphy might have posted it. It was great. I mean, it's tech death, but there's this weird sort of Mid-Eastern vibe going on to it. There was a whole concept with the record. In an early interview, they were saying they were going to do 13 albums, and each one was going to be a different thing of the Kabbalah. I don't know, but they never got around to it. They went on this long hiatus, and they're finally back with a really awesome record. It totally slaps. I can't recommend it enough. This is great to take to the gym and put on, because it just makes you fucking give her and crush it. So yeah, Doth, The Deceivers, is my number 2 for 2024. Well, here we are. My number 1 metal album for 2024. You've probably guessed what it is already, because I haven't said it yet. And yep, it's Judas Priest with Invincible Shield. What can I say? I think this is their best record since Painkiller. I'm a fan of every era of Priest. I mean, Turbo, when that came out, I literally played Frisbee with the record in the winter and let it shatter into a million pieces, because it was such a disappointment. But over the years, I've grown to absolutely love the record. Ram It Down, I love. You know, even the Ripper era stuff, I think is great. But this album is absolutely killer. When the singles were first released, like Panic Attack and Crown of Horns and all that, I was like, yeah, okay, this is a real solid Priest record. But when I actually picked it up, and some of the deeper tracks on there, like The Devil in Disguise and Gates of Hell, future Priest classics. This is a chef's kiss record. Rob sounds amazing, of course. You cannot go wrong with Judas Priest, and this is, like I said, the best thing since the 90s. So my number 1 album for 2024 is Judas Priest with Invincible Shield. Alright, so that was my top 10 metal albums for 2024. What did you think? What's in your top 10 metal records for 2024? Is there a band that put out a record in 2024 that I missed that I need to check out? Let me know in the comments. And please, if you'd be so kind, maybe hit that like button. Subscribing to the channel would be great. And of course, hit that notification bell so you get an alert when a new video is coming up. I don't post a lot, but when I do, they're always going to be gooders. So thanks a lot for watching. Really do appreciate it. And have a great 2025. We'll be seeing you.